ready when you are, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon. Excited to get going this week. Obviously, homecoming at the place that invented homecoming. So it's going to be a great week of alumni and families coming back here. It's also our Gold Rush game, and can't wait to break out a new uniform style for this week. And so excited about everything that comes in around homecoming. Saw a tweet about us making sure that the Jesse Hall is lit gold to remind everybody to come home. So embracing all of the traditions. I know we got decks Friday night and all of that, so it's a great time to be in Columbia, Missouri. It's a great time to be an alumni of the University of Missouri. And our football team will embrace the excitement, but the most important thing is that we earn the opportunity to play well, and that occurs through practice. We had a really good bye week. Felt like we did exactly what we wanted to do, which is refresh and recharge some of our vets who've played a lot of plays and let our younger guys and underclassmen continue to develop. It culminated with a great scrimmage on Thursday, and then we were back yesterday working on Vanderbilt. On Sunday working on Vanderbilt. Today will be our Toughness Tuesday, where we'll crank up full speed on exactly what we're dialed in on, first and second down for Vandy, and we're a little bit ahead, so we'll hit some situational things also for Vanderbilt. As far as an injury report, we believe Chad should be probable this week. Barrett Bannister's probable this week. Chris Abrams-Drain should be probable this week. Luther Burden is still battling his injury, so we will see how today goes on where he's at. Hiron White is still not where we want him to be coming back, so we'll let that guy. We'll let Hiron continue to rehab this week, but he would not be available. He will be out this week coming up. And I don't believe there's any other, but I'll let y'all ask if there's somebody that comes to y'all's mind. And then just a bit of personal news. Want to wish Molly the absolute best. Molly has accepted a position with USA Swim, and she'll be leaving us next week. She's been absolutely a pleasure to work with, has done a tremendous job here at the University of Missouri, keeping us in line and communicating and rebuilding relationships with the media. I think she's done a great job getting our student athletes molded in conversations with y'all and our staff, and sure enjoyed the journey that we've been on together, and wish her the best in Colorado Springs and USA Swimming. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
Eli, just health situation. I mean, what's the deal with Chance Looper? Anything you can update on with his situation?
I probably need to ask him and his dad before I get into exact specifics, but 3 months was what we were kind of given, and so that would be the end of November.
Coach, what do you feel like on the bye week was maybe some of the biggest things you saw your team maybe improve on, whether it's mindset-wise on the field? What do you think?
Yeah, I thought they did a great job of coming out with the mindset of always compete. I thought the way our younger guys went out every Tuesday, Wednesday, and in that scrimmage Thursday and played really hard, really good football, physical. I thought our upperclassmen competed in doing the individual and getting better and sharpening their tools and fundamentals. There are some key areas that we really need to improve on if we want to go from where we are to where we want to be. And so we've really been harping on those, and I didn't see any flinch or blink in our guys. It was, yes, sir, let's go do it. Let's go fix it. And that was good to see.
Last week, Dominic Lovett said that it came at really like the perfect time in the bye week. Did you kind of feel like it came at the perfect time for you guys with where you were at?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought just from a health standpoint and a mentality standpoint, we just needed a break to refocus and re-engage. And now we got a great opportunity to compete, and homecoming is always a great crowd. It's always a great energy around Columbia and around our university, and so it'll be good for our guys to go out there and earn it. And that's what we're going to have to do. Vanderbilt, Coach Lee does a tremendous job. They've got really good schemes. I think Coach Lee is building a program. He's got some veteran players that have been there a long time. All 4 D linemen have been there. Their 2 linebackers are returning starters. Two of their secondary members played against us last year at the safety position. One of them played corner. The nickel played at corner. So they've got a lot of veterans who've played a lot of football. On the offensive side of the ball, they've got they present a lot of different challenges through a variety of formations and play concepts, and obviously sound on special teams. They've got an Australian transfer punter that can change his punt point. So, it's going to be a real challenge. Obviously, our seniors and upperclassmen know the challenge that this is, can looking back on their careers here. And so we got to go earn it this week. And this is a quality SEC football team that we are going to play. I mean, they had Vanderbilt down 20-17 at halftime. They had whether it was a lead or 7-3 against Alabama. I don't know if it was 3-0, but played well against those guys as long as they possibly could, and then kind of got away at the end. But we've been on that side of those games too, and it's not always reflective of where your team or your culture is.
Coach, Vanderbilt's got that true freshman quarterback in A.J. Swan. What have you seen from him on tape so far?
Yeah, very smart decision maker, accurate passer, knows who his go-to guys are. They use him a lot in RPO systems. I think he's got one turnover on the season, maybe not, but does not put the ball in jeopardy. They try to get him into good situations by running the football and creating third and manageables, which then allow them to utilize some RPOs and stuff to keep you off balance defensively and keep you out of your hot zone coverage. So. They've done a good job with him. Didn't work quite as well as they'd like for it to on Saturday, and they always have the ability to put in their quarterback that ran for, I think, darn near 200 yards against us last year. So we got to prepare for both.
When you self-scout your offense during a bye week opportunity, do you have a better feel of who you are, what you do well, and then can you trim things out, or how do you approach that?
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. You get a chance to kind of take a deep breath and really watch where you're at and see where the continual problems could be, and what are the schemes that we do efficiently well, and what are the schemes that, whether they look good on paper or not, just aren't hitting for us the way we want to. And so there's absolutely a trimming of and forming of, okay, this is what we can do, not what we want to do. And so that was an emphasis for us this week, and an emphasis in our game plan.
The negative plays in the run game, kind of boom or bust. I mean, it's either get good runs or go backward. I mean, can you put a finger on what's going on there?
Yeah, I mean, there's some scheme issues, there's some technique issues, and then obviously there's some penalties. We have to clean up penalties. We have to clean up penalties. If you look at key moments in opportunity games, penalties have kept us from contributing from a loss to a win. And so we have got to get those cleaned up. They're drive killers for us offensively, and defensively they're drive extenders. And so those are two things that, or one thing that we definitely look at. And then, negative plays, I think we got to just be cognizant. I got to be cognizant. Coaches have got to be cognizant of play designs that our guys can execute.
I don't know specific numbers, but when you look at those negative plays, have a bigger portion than you maybe normally expect happen on first down? I mean, yeah. It seems like you found yourself in second and more than 10 far more often.
Yeah, it's first and 10 efficiency has not been good, and first and 10 penalties have really been an issue for us.
Eli, when you look at these tweaks and changes at this point in the season, is there a fine line between too much, changing too much overall?
There's not changing. It's tweaking, and it's pushing in a certain direction. I mean, we're not putting in new plays. We're not becoming a triple option offense. We're not putting in the flex bone. Like, okay, we run outside zone, inside zone, and counter, and we run counter a couple of different ways. Okay, so which one of the three is better for us? Which one is better this direction or that direction? Okay, can we change the launch point of the quarterback a little bit more so that we're not sitting ducks? Maybe 50, 5-man protection is not what we want it to be. So let's focus more on some 7-man stuff. That's all kinds of opportunities and things that we can discuss. But it's not, oh, hey, we didn't ever run this. Let's try that. Like, it's not trying anything. It's pushing in a direction.
When you say you want to clean up penalties, what do you do during the week to try and achieve that?
I think you have to have accountability during practice, and you have to focus on it when you watch the tape. and you got to call it out for what it is. We had officials all through fall camp, and would point out penalties, and we haven't been able to do that, not as much throughout the season during the game weeks. So get back to some of that, but then there's got to be a personal accountability for, penalties and ownership of, a penalty does not occur to one person. The entire team pays for it. We lose 5 yards as a team or 10 yards as a team. And so as a team, we have to have some accountability for it.
Coach, schematically, what can we expect from Andy on the defensive end?
Yeah, they got multiple schemes. They play. I think that's one of the strengths of a Coach Lee style defense. And obviously, he's got a new defensive coordinator that used to be at the University of Virginia, who I've gone against before. Does a tremendous job. It's the scheme variety. They mix in multiple fronts: 4 down front, 3 down front, bear front. Lots of different fire zone coverages and man. He tries to have, whatever keys you try to have on, hey, this is going to tell you if it's quarters, this is going to tell you if it's cover 2 or 1 high. He mixes those constantly, so your quarterback is not in a it's hard to run coverage read concepts where, hey, if it's cover 3, you're working the left side. If it's cover 2, you're working the right side. Or middle field open, you're working left side. Middle field closed, you're working right side. That's really difficult against this style of defense. It's certainly a challenge. And again, veteran guys up front on the defensive line, played a lot of football. Obviously played these guys last year, and they did a good job of getting to the quarterback.
Eli, this is about the time last season when things began to turn around for the team. Is there anything that you're drawing on from last year that some of the veteran players are maybe drawing on from last year that you're trying to implement this season?
I think experience is the best teacher, right? And so I think, some of those older guys will look to that and say, hey, we were able to do this or this after coming out of the bye week. For me, I think it's about us earning the opportunity to win by cleaning up mistakes and taking things off of tape that are affecting the bottom line, which is winning and losing. And that's what we're focused on.
I think you said after the last game you only took 3 cornerbacks to Gainesville. Where are you at with that position? And obviously, how big is the fact you have Marcus Clark been, considering that?
Yeah, Marcus Clark was a huge addition for us, obviously. Specifically last week, we only took 3 scholarship cornerbacks with us. Since then, we've had a couple of guys. Obviously, KD will be healthy, and DJ is back, running with our guys again. But LJ Hewitt and Davion Sistrunk have been suspended, and we'll see where that ends up.
The middle 8 of games, some coaches talk about it more than others.
Swing 8.
Yeah, do you have a kind of a guiding philosophy you take into games, or is it all circumstantial that you want to get out of those 8 minutes?
Yeah, we call them the swing 8. If you actually look at the Georgia, Georgia is 8-8 when they lose the swing 8, and it's really one of the only statistics. They actually win and lose games regardless of turnover margin. Coach Smart probably wouldn't let you like to hear that, but that and explosive play battle were the 2 keys for how you have the best opportunity to win against Georgia. So we're always cognizant of the swing 8 and how our opponent plays in those styles. I think the biggest thing that you got to decide in the swing 8 is, for us, it all depends on how the ball, what you decide on the opening kick. Are you receiving or kicking? The only time in football that you can actually gain a possession is to end the ball in the first half with the ball, and then start the ball in the second half, which is really something that we philosophically try to do. That's why we're such a defer style team. So depending on who gets the ball to start the second half really depends on how we play the swing 8.
And you've seen in times, I'm thinking of the Vandy game last year, where that momentum you get going into halftime can be so pivotal for what happens the rest of the game. How true is that?
I think if you look back since we've been here, and I can trace it back further, but the swing 8 has been a huge indicator of what we're going to take into halftime. If you look at Florida in 2020, we were down 13-7. We threw 2 passes. It was 3rd and 1. We ran an inside zone scheme. Brenton Cox spiked the B gap. We had a fumble. They took it, scored. We tried to go again. They got it through 3 Hail Marys in the end zone. They didn't score, but completely flipped the momentum of the game. If you look at Georgia, we'd blocked a punt, scored, tied it up 14-14. They took it down, went and scored, got the ball to start the second half, scored again, and then ran away with it. They had a 14-0 win in this, 14-7 win in the Swing 8. Last year, we talked about Vandy, where we scored right before half, but if you remember South Carolina, we hit the field goal right before half on a Mayday situation that ended up being the difference in the game, being a 31-28 win. So you can go back and look that it has a huge impact, and so we're cognizant of not making a mistake going into halftime to give the other team momentum, and we're cognizant of trying to get points if possible.
Back on your run game, that sometimes probably seems easy from the stands or on TV.
It is?
To look
Good.
and think, hey, the wrong choice is made on a zone read. How many of those plays is there actually an option, and what's been your kind of opinion on your guys' execution of that when it's been the case this year?
Yeah, I think it's an area that we can definitely improve on. I think you have to be cognizant that zone read has become something that defenses, especially in college football, are more and more used to, and so that they have what we consider a surf technique, where they are in a square position, and then once they see if the quarterback's handed the ball, they chase, and if the quarterbacks come out, they come flat down the line. And when you're playing really good defensive ends who can run, it's not as clean a play. But with that being said, there's been plenty of opportunities. I can think of 3 in short yardage that the right read was not made, and so that's something that we've got to continue to improve on. We were 10 for 14 on 3rd and 1-2 coming out of the bye week, and I think all 4 of them that we didn't get, we pointed at potentially a wrong decision in the zone read game, one way or the other, keep or give.
You mentioned help a couple of times in injury updates. How key is that at this point in the season to get better help and help you out?
Yeah, I mean, you want to be full strength. You got good players who've earned opportunities to play based off of what they put into the season. 8 months of training, and injuries and nicks are part of the game. But the fresher the horses, the faster they tend to run.
Coach, you mentioned kind of giving the younger players a chance to stand out in practice. Are there any who stood out in particular during the bye week?
Yeah, I thought Marquise Graciel really had a really good bye week. I thought Jalen Marshall really did some good things in the interior, and really excited about their growth. They just happen to have a lot of depth in front of them right now, but they can't get frustrated with the process. Kyron Montgomery's back to practicing and getting some reps and really improving. Hasn't played football in a year, and it's been awesome to see him really engage in football activities. Isaac Thompson had a big crucial interception in Wednesday's practice, and he continues to elevate his game. So we're excited about the growth that he's making. Mekhi Miller is continuing to practice hard and put himself in a position to be available. Micah Manning is a transfer that played in the Florida game and continues to take a lot of reps and get better. And I thought both our quarterbacks, both Sam and Tyler, practiced well on Wednesday and Thursday, and in the scrimmages, both led touchdown drives. Sam led multiple touchdown drives, and so it was good to see. It wasn't perfect, but better ownership of what we're trying to accomplish. I thought the offensive line, I've really been pleased with Mekhi Lee's growth and development, and how he's changed his body and taken ownership of, he's not playing as much as he would like to, or hasn't played at all yet, but gives us great effort and is not wasting a day. Val Erickson, Tristan Wilson have done some really good things. Xavier Simmons is practicing. DJ Westlock has moved to linebacker and had an interception on Tuesday's practice that was a big-time play. And so, I've seen a lot of those guys continue to improve.
Anything else for Coach? Thank you, sir.
MIZ.